Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Healy for Beginners and Beyond for February 20th, 2024 on National Love Your Pet Day. We just had to have a special pet episode on this very special day. I am your host, Jake Barron, Head of Operations for the Americas, and we have many co-hosts on the call today. We have Lexi over here. And then we have Charlie next to Lexi, sitting here, very well behaved right now. And then we also have Sonia Tarita and with Baloo, right? Correct, Sonia?
Yes, correct.
Yes. Yes. Sonia, of course, is you know her well now from a few of the calls we've done, but she's a veterinary frequency specialist over in Spain joining us for the call today. So happy to have her. Ken Close, that you all know and love, also helping us out on the call. And of course, Doc Steve on the call with Teddy. He'll be on this call, of course, too. And then Adriana, our head of sales for the Americas here, is there with Rico. You'll see him in the background. So we are going to have a lot, and yes, and as everyone's joining, I would love to hear who all is on the call, your pets' names that are on the call with us as well. And just 1 second here, I just want to make Doc Steve co-host here while we're at this. Okay, there we go. Okay. And yeah, so we are, again, very special pet episode of Healy for Beginners and Beyond, and we're going to be talking specifically on how to use your Healy with animals. And you see I have the agenda up here. We're going to spend a little bit of time at the beginning going through just in general what the animal module is, what resources that we currently have available for the animal module. We'll just show a little bit of that, share some screens, and then we'll kind of get into how to determine which programs to run. You know, it's very similar actually to how you would do this for yourself, but we'll just run through that. And then we'll talk a little bit about each of the different ways to run your Healy with animals, whether it's microcurrent in the animal kit, the Healy coil, vibrating those frequencies via the Analyze app, or using the Mag Healy, because there is a special animal harmony program in the atmosphere section, or also giving your pets water that's been informed with frequencies from the Mag Healy. And then Sonia is going to do, just like we did in December, she's going to do a group resonance analysis. So we're going to take one big group photo of all the animals that are on the call today, and then she will do an analysis, and then we'll talk a little bit about that later on in the call, but definitely that's going to be certainly a highlight of the call. And then along the way, we'll talk a little bit, we'll just add in some tips and testimonials, because all of us on this call have had had some good experiences using Healy, and Lexi is getting impatient with her brother here, so I'm going to put her down for just a second here. You go right there. All right. So let's get right into this. So really, at the end of this call, what I want to get across here, some of you have different levels of experience with the Healy. I'm not an expert with the animals, but we have a lot of experts on this call that are in that area. But we want everyone to have a good comfort level of using Healy with their animals, because it's such a powerful device, and really they can benefit just as much, if not more, than us from using the Healy. So if you were kind of unsure what to do, how to use it, all those different things, we'll cover all that on today's call. And hopefully by the end of this call, you'll have a great understanding. And if you haven't been using your Healy with animals, you'll start right away. And we want to hear some of those success stories over the next few weeks and months for sure. So let's get right into this. So again, as we start this call, there's just a couple disclaimers, of course, to go through. And a lot of this stuff is kind of new for a lot of us, and it's the results certainly can vary from individual to individual or from animal to animal. But just keep in mind, what we're talking about is not a replacement for some sort of immediate care that's needed for your pet. It's something to use along with and incorporate into their daily life to help them maintain optimal health and support them along the way, because there's so much that we can can do with our Healy device to help them live a better, more fulfilling life. So again, so we're going to start here. Just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the resources that we have available. I'm going to show these. I'm going to stop sharing these slides here in just a minute and kind of show where to access these. But there's a great animal module presentation, which we're going to run through pretty quickly here during the call, not all of it in detail, but it's available in the download section of Healy Academy and also the download section of Back Office. So we're going to show a little bit about that. The animal module landing page on the shop, which was just redone late last year, is an excellent resource as well. And we have this really cool animal module playlist on our YouTube channel, actually on the Healy World official YouTube channel, not the Healy World America's, Healy World official. We'll show that. And then of course, the animal module within the HealAdvisor app, and then also being able to run the analysis via the Analyze app as well. So this is the presentation that is available in Back Office. So actually, let's start. Let's go right into this. I'll talk a little bit about some of these topics here. And Ken, Sonia, Doc Steve, Adriana, as we're going, if there's any points you want to emphasize here, please do so as we are going along. But the animal module.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Would really like the picture, so that.
You want to do it first? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me stop sharing. We'll do that first, so we can get that over to you. So everybody, grab your. Oh, I'm gonna get Lexi. She's on the floor here doing I don't know what. Let's see here. Lexi, you come over here too. Charlie, come here. Okay. So everybody, let's give you 30 seconds here. Get on camera.
So what I need you to have a perception of your animal. Think about your animal. Whatever is disturbing your animal, let's say has a bad relationship with a dog that's your neighbor, that he gets nervous when you leave home. Doesn't need to be something that is really bad in this moment, but belongs to the animal. So think about the one thing you would like to see and observe for the next days on your animal. And then you will be observing this same thing, the feeling, your gut feeling when you finish the call. So like right now, Baloo, up. So right now, Baloo, he gets worried when we leave home. So yeah, this thing I'm going to put a 2. So I want you all that we're going to do this picture. Try to put your dog in the screen and then try to talk for him. So this would be my 2. And then everybody puts a hand. If it's very, very severe, you put a 5. If it's just a little bit, you put a 1. And make sure that we see that on the screen. Okay?
All right, we'll give everybody another 10 seconds here to get situated, get the hand in position here too. And we will go ahead and I'll take a screenshot and then we'll get it right over to you, Sonia, and then we'll talk more about that on the call as well. So, all right.
Finds it very funny, all of them.
Okay, here we go. 3,
as you can.
2, 1. Okay, I think we got this. Let's see. Yeah, I think we got most of everybody here. So I will get this over to you right away so we can continue on with that section.
And also just let you know that in other calls that I've done like that with animals, people started seeing differences like right away. On the finishing of the call, the animals were maybe more relaxed. If they were worried about their stress, they were licking. They were maybe yawning. So all this you will be able to observe at the end to see if you see any change on the animal. And then the next days, some things have happened to the dogs, like really even more profound on the collective calls than if I was doing one-on-one. Dogs that were tired, they were like puppies. Dogs that didn't like anybody to touch their legs, and then they allowed people to touch their legs. Sometimes doesn't need to be very important, but it is a change, and it is very, very outstanding that on a call like that you can have so many changes, so many animals. So,
yeah, no, I mean, and it's those little things that a lot of times can have such a big difference in the quality of life, or the less stressful life for the dog, less anxious about certain things as well. So yeah, that's definitely something I know a lot of us on this call are hoping to see here. And we're gonna explain and talk about how that works with the Healy when you're using it with your animals. So okay. Lexi, you go over here. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. Let me just share this again. So while I have this up, I'm actually going to go ahead and show where these resources are that I'm about to share. Okay. Okay, here we go. So this is the download section of Academy, and you'll see here we have a section called the Flyer Animal Module, which is useful information too. But we also, if you go to the presentation, I think I may have accidentally or logged myself out here. Let's see here. But in the presentations section, there is, oh, here we go. So you'll see here, there's a bunch of different presentations, a lot of useful stuff, but you see there's one called Presentation Animal Module a little bit further down. This is the main presentation for the animal module, which we're also going to show here in a little bit. But please note that this is also available in the download section of Academy. So if you go to Academy, I'd like to direct everyone to Academy because there's such great information available there now. Go to Academy and you'll see that same thing, the Flyer Animal Module. But if you sort by presentation, you'll see that document is available here too, Presentation Animal Module. And this is available in different languages as well. But that presentation, if you're not able to download the presentation, or if you're out somewhere without it, another great resource is this is the animal module, essentially landing page on our shop, whether it's the Mexico shop, Canada shop, US shop, they all have this same page here. If you go to products and then HealAdvisor Animal, and this is essentially the same information that's available in that presentation, but it's available on this web page. It's kind of in a sort of a more vertical format here. If you scroll down, there's this great video. It's just 2 minutes. I think it's around 2 minutes long here. Let me see if we can play this while we're on the call here. Okay.
When you bring home a pet for the first time, they become more than just an animal to you. They become your cherished companion, your best friend. As an animal lover, pet owner, or veterinarian, you strive to provide these animals with the best care and love they deserve. Healy World introduced the HealAdvisor Animal Module to revolutionize the way you care for your beloved pets. HealAdvisor Animal Module combines the best microcurrent application for animals in a dedicated program group consisting of the 12 most popular and commonly used Individualized Microcurrent Frequency (IMF) programs. These programs are designed to harmonize your pet's bioenergetic field in a simple, versatile, and holistic way while promoting calmness and inner strength. Access all the necessary tools in the complete Healy Animal Kit for seamless and effective application. Cable electrodes ensure the flow of microcurrent through the body, which lets your animals benefit from the harmonization on a physical level. Using these cable electrodes enables the transmission of over 9 million different possible frequencies into the bioenergetic field. As an add-on, the Healy coil can be used for a cable-free experience. The HealAdvisor Animal Module is where technology meets love for your pet's wellness. Here's to a happier, holistic, healthy, and more vibrant life for your beloved furry friends.
Yeah, so yeah, that video is available on this website. It's also available on the Healy World official YouTube channel, which we will show here in just a minute or two. And then you can keep going down. It talks about, how to use this with your animals. It talks about some of the benefits. I think all of us have seen this, this slide here, this graphic, not just related to using Healy with yourself, but also with animals as well. And then, of course, some details. There's 12 different Healy IMF programs. You can also use the HealAdvisor Animal Search with over 300 unique search terms, which is great. It shows the contents of the animal kit. We'll show that in a little bit more detail here as well. Talks a little bit about that. There's a link to purchase it also. And then actually, I think so these are just some images from the community, which are pretty cool. You see, the coil in use. This is the picture actually of using the regular wristband electrodes rather than the animal kit itself. But you'll see in the video, and also this is from that as well, the image of the actual animal kit in use, and then a couple more with the coil too. And then the animal kit being used on that tiny little bunny over there. And Doc Steve, I'm trying to make you co-host. I thought I did a few times here. Let me try it again.
He had to jump off for a second.
Oh, okay. Got it. I'll do it again here. Let me see. Okay. You should be good now. Let me know again if that doesn't come up. Okay. So, and then the programs at a glance. This is cool because a lot of times we get questions of, what are these 12 different programs? And it tells all 12 here: irritant reaction, suffering, microbiota, defense, joints, eyes, hormones, sensitivity, rest, cleaning, emotions, and power. And there's a little bit even more detail in the presentation, which we'll show. It has some expert tips for each of those as well. And then these 5 videos here, this is what I was going to show you on the Healy World official playlist for the animal module. But these 5 interviews with different veterinarians, animal naturopath as well, these are all really cool, really beneficial. Right, Charlie? Right, Charlie? You like those videos? Yeah. Okay. And then I'm busy here, Charlie. Come on. The numbers, there's some studies here as well related to this. And so, so this is all available. This is all on the landing page. So you don't need to download the presentation if you're out somewhere and don't have that with you. But so we're going to switch. I just want to show you real quick where these are on the Healy World official YouTube channel. So if you go to here and go to the playlist that we have here and go down to Healy Animal Module, you'll see all 6 of those videos. So you have the main video that we just watched together, Unleash Holistic Wellbeing for Your Pets. And then the 5 different interviews are also all available here as well. So this is a great resource. There's a ton of great different, and these are longer videos, these interviews. They're, a lot of them are 10 minutes or more. So they're very in-depth about how, you can use your animal module to benefit the pets and animals in your life. So this is a great, you want to say something, Charlie? You want to say something to the group here? Huh? Okay. Okay, so let's go over here. Let me stop sharing this section here. And I'm going to switch back over to the presentation because there's a ton of cool information in here that I think all of us can have a little bit of insight into. But let me pull this one back up and share again. Okay, so this is back to the presentation that I just showed you where to download. And, there's, of course, it starts all with the different benefits, the different microcurrent for big and small animals. And that's a big point to make here is that, you can use this with a horse, you can use this with the tiniest little fish, you can use this with a bird, a snake, dog, cat, whatever you have or whatever you're looking to support there. And Sonia, I know you've experienced using this with elephants too, like some of the biggest animals on earth,
That's
right?
a pretty, very, very pretty experience. Animals, they're very sensitive. So cow can from here, they were in Thailand. The owners could see the difference on the the calm. The elephant was for years and years doing like this, and he stopped doing it with Healy. It's amazing. Thank you, Healy.
Okay, so again, as you go through this presentation, we're not going to go in detail on each of these slides. It has some good information there, but you'll see here, there's a great image here of the Healy animal kit in use by a dog here. And yes, there was a question, is this going to be, but yeah, this is National Love Your Pet Day. So we're going to dedicate this entire episode for pets for sure. And yeah, so that you'll see this in use. And we got, I know Doc Steve has some really great tips also for using the animal kit as well, as far as what to keep in mind to get the best results, to get the best current flow also. So we'll discuss that when we get to the next couple more slides here. Okay. And yes, so of course, the microcurrent therapy is one of the big things. So this was again what we just saw on the Healy shop page as well. And I wanted to get a little bit further into here related to some of the product. Doc Steve, were you able to get on the unmuted here? Let me see here.
He's back.
Yes, I'm back.
There he
Sorry,
is.
some technical difficulties here.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, but yeah, just I know we were talking the other day, Doc Steve, about the animal kit that you get questions all the time. Well, how do I put this thing on my pet? Because it's, you get these different parts and pieces, and it's once you've used it, it's not that complicated. There's a couple of key things, of course, to keep in mind there. And I think one of the biggest things you'll see there in the picture that I also have them here myself is that, for us, when we're using the Healy device with microcurrent, we have the wristband electrodes or the adhesive electrodes. For this particular purpose, there's these little, they're electrodes as well, but they're meant to go inside of these sponges. And these sponges need to be pretty wet, right, Doc Steve? Not just a tiny bit damp.
Yeah, that would be extremely, and what I do is I take the sponges, I put them under the sink, the faucet of the sink, I let them fully get wet, I lightly squeeze them out, and then I slip the electrodes in because, again, you have to have conductivity in order to make the microcurrent work. And with an animal, because they have fur or hair, you don't get a direct skin contact, and therefore those electrodes must be very, very wet, the sponges, in order to make that contact.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the big things that people don't realize is just how wet they need to be, because they might start it up and, well, I'm not getting the right conductivity. I'm getting the message there's no, the current frequency generated, but no current is flowing there. But they're very simple. You just, like Doc Steve said, you get them wet, stick these in there, and then the kit also comes with a different set of connection cables. So these aren't the same ones that you use when you're using your wristband electrodes. They have different connectors on the end here. They're a little bit bigger. So essentially, you take your little sponge here with the electrode, you plug one into one of these, one into the other one, and then the other ends plug into your Healy device the same way you would the regular connection cables.
So it's not showing up on the screen, Jake, just to explain here, there is another piece that's missing on the screen, which is the very long, you can hold it up. I don't have the animal kit in front of me. It's the very long connector wire. It's a white wire that allows the two pads to connect in, and then there's two connections that go directly. Yeah, that's the one, Jake, that go into the.
So yeah, these are much bigger connectors, that the other electrodes go into. So these are, and they're a little bit longer as well. So these are the ones that you use. They come with the animal kit. Yeah, I'm actually not sure why they're not shown there on the graphic. That's a good point to keep in mind, is that, yeah, these two things do not plug into the Healy device. It's the connector cables that actually do. And then once you do that, right, then the next key point is actually securing it to, right? You saw that image a few slides ago of it kind of wrapped around the chest or the waist of the dog that was shown there. But right, these need to be on there pretty tight, right, to get the proper
Yes,
connection.
you have to secure, you must secure either the fastening strips or the bands, whichever one you use, very, very snugly onto the dog in order to make the contact. If you're not seeing the contact, the first thing I would check is see how tightly those sponges are to your dog, because even if, for a moment, hold them really tight, you'll see the current will start again. It means that you must tighten that band even tighter.
Yep. And the animal kit does come with this little booklet. It's really just a, one 5-fold sort of document here. Just a little bit of graphics of kind of where you can place this, and of course there. And then also it has a chart here on the far right side, related to, it's basically don't use too much microcurrent. This isn't something where you're going to put on your pet and just put it all the way up to 100% and, see how it goes. This is for, we always talk about, less is more. And then for pets, definitely even more so, less is more.
Yes. As a matter of fact, if you turn it up too high, you may see your pet wanting to run away, actually, or leave the area, because if you turn it up too high, they're going to feel this, what they'll experience as like a shock. And since they're not aware of what this is, they're going to automatically assume it's something harmful, and they're going to run away from you. So if you see your dog moving around or trying to run away, you absolutely have the setting way too high. I would say that I've never set the intensity ever above 35% on my dog when I've used it.
Yeah. So, but start at the lowest and go from there. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Something I'd like to add there, Jake, is that if you guys would understand the microcurrent of Healy, the max output that microcurrent or that Healy puts out is 4 milliamps, right? So it's very small, like a TENS unit. If you guys are familiar with a TENS unit, it's up to 80 milliamps for those things, and they convulse tissue, right? They actually are very powerful. Healy's a very small, subtle signal. It should be a small, subtle signal. And your indicator of whether you're getting current flow is actually on the app. But you should be always paying close attention to your pet. And the more moisture that's on the sponge and the better the connection. Some of the pets have different types of fur, right? Or what about, say, a feathered friend? Feathers are not conductive at all. You will never get current flow through feathers. They are designed to be a insulator. So depending on the pet, we need to really be strategic as to where to place those pads. Look for spaces where there's exposed skin or very little fur. That kind of thing is important. So just keep in mind, like Jake said, less is more. Start there and work your way up.
Yeah, Sonia, yes, you had a
Yeah, I wanted to give a suggestion also.
Yes.
We have to be creative here. We are allowed to be creative. So sometimes even getting the pinzas, the pinzas.
Yes, yeah.
So you have to wet really well. I like to grasp on the very tender skin, always when they're sick and they're lying. Very, very easy just to wet them first. You get a paper toilet, a paper, you wet the paper, and then you bite with the pins so that the foam is wet. Then you grab a piece of skin, and then you just elevate it a little bit, and then you put the pin, you wet it, and then you put the pins, and then you look, and you have a perfect contact. And that's very easy because sometimes they're lying, and I usually use the neck because it's really easy that they don't bite whatever they're putting, and it doesn't disturb them at all. But you have to be checking that's wet. That is for sure. You have to have it wet, like Dr. Steve was saying. You have to, if you're using the cables, you won't see a difference if you don't have contact. That in my experience. If you can't, then of course use the blue app or the coil.
Yeah. I mean, we want everyone to be comfortable, because it's very easy to be like, well, no, I don't want to mess with that. I'll just use the coil, or I'll use the analyze app. But then you're missing all the benefits of microcurrent for your pet. So really, it's, give it a try, start low, and get so you're comfortable with it. You don't need to do this every single day on your pet, but if you can at least do it, once or twice a week, even that will provide a significant benefit for them. So,
and what I wanted to add, Jake, great point here is that, as I always say, when you're dealing with very specific physical type injuries, and with pets, we're talking about like an injury. My dog Teddy had an ACL injury in his left leg. If you're not going to use microcurrent, you're not going to get the results. I always say use microcurrent when it's a purely physical issue. When you're dealing in the mental emotional vein, then it's okay to use the coil, as we'll talk further in terms of how I use the coil with pets. But what happened was, when he had the injury, I brought him into the vet, and the vet took an x-ray and said he has an ACL injury. He's probably going to need surgery. And I said to her, I have alternative methods that I use to treat those kinds of things. Let me try it first. And she said, great. And so I immediately started using the pet program with the joints program, and I ran it on him with microcurrent. And in a very short period of time, I could tell it was healing. And when I brought him in for a recheck a number of months later, and she re-x-rayed the area, he had, she said to me, no, it's healed. No need for surgery. So if you're going to deal with a situation like that, that's a physical situation with your dog, honestly, you need to purchase the pet kit, and you need to use microcurrent for it to be very effective.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the animal kit it's pretty inexpensive. I think it's like $50, $55, $60 on the US shop.
Worth every penny.
And as you mentioned, it's one of those things where, of course, if your dog pet is in immediate danger and needs immediate treatment, okay. But if this like your vet said, if it's not something that's life threatening and can wait, why not try something like this? It's not a case of don't worry. Well, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does work? So it's definitely worth trying. And I know we were talking also recently about, and Doc Steve too, that there is no placebo effect with pets, right? I mean,
the consciousness of an animal is much more instinctive, not analytical as humans are. So they are more open and receptive. They trust you, right? They trust us, and they trust the life itself. And so when we are working with them, there's no resistance. How many of you guys, well, probably nobody on this call, but how many of you know someone who is a skepticist, right? Who doesn't believe in anything that's not tangible, or they can't be seen. And we know that the unseen and energy infusion is really an effective way. And you saw the slide earlier. One thing I want to bring the attention to, and the reason that Doc Steve is talking about the effectiveness of microcurrent, is that slide that Jake showed about the increase in ATP, 500% by microcurrent. Now that's a lot. And not only that, amino acid transport and protein synthesis. That's the healing agents and all of the necessary nutrients for cell regeneration. So huge, and it's not the same study. There's not the same information when it comes to the coil or that type of infusion. So this is why microcurrent is extremely important, and you'll see a much more physical shift when you use that modality.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great points.
Animals don't block things out there as humans do. So if a person in their mind feels, for whatever reason, that they don't think a specific treatment protocol will work, guess what? They'll get exactly what their intention is. The protocol won't work. Animals don't analyze that way. And so therefore they're open channels. And when you send them a signal, they receive it 100%. So that's the great news about working with animals. They also get faster results usually too.
Yes, Sonia. Yeah.
Yes, they don't only receive it, they They know what you have, and next time when you go and see them, they come and get and ask you for it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's such a proof that this device, Healy device, is so good for them, because they come to it. And I've seen a difference from just being veterinarians using injections and tablets and yeah, like devices, and first putting this, the attitude of the horse, of the elephant, of the dog, it's always like they come to you, they get towards you, not, they don't run away. If I come with vaccine, they used to go and now I come with this, we first meet it, and then they just come to me, they walk towards me. It's very impressive. Says yes from the animals. It's very impressive. Very, very good. Also, what Dr. Steve was saying about something that's very serious, I first put Healy. Not that it's going to be an alternative. I put Healy, and then I start working with all the other stuff as a vet. But it's so easy, even not using the cables, just to put Healy over the horse, even if they're struggling with like the worst of this scenario, like a very old horse, and he was dying. So I put it on the horse, you know, what can you do? So we were getting to the end, and the horse literally slept. He fell asleep. He wasn't dead. He fell asleep, and then he died. It was with no medication. It was incredible. So
Wow.
yeah, it's all these things that come with nature, and when you use it, it's so pretty and so important. I think it's so important. I wanted to say some things when I have a chance about the importance of frequencies, because yes, we have all the other tools, but yes, we have frequency tools. And if the frequencies are well, the horse, the leg, the surgery is going to be well. If the surgery opposite, if the surgery, the wound, everything is bad, you know that the frequencies in that point are not going to be well. So why not? I use it like if it's like a tune, no? I know after 18 years of working with bioresonance that anything that's on not a good state, it's going to need some help of, okay, this is my reminding of the good frequency sign that I used to have. So I give the reminding, I give like a tune, I use it thinking that it's like a tune, go back to the frequency that is in nature of that leg. And then you have a very disaster, let's say, injury in the leg, and then magically it repairs a lot more functional, even if you know that all those tears are not going to repair, they never wanted to go through surgery. And you say, oh, this mare, she's just going to be in pain all her life. Why do you do that? She does need surgery. No, well, that's what's going to happen. Then even helping those disasters with frequencies, it's like somebody's making the tissue again, and the horse does not have a very disturbing life at all. Or if it goes through surgery, it ends up more functional, like more like nature, like wise, no? So something that's broken needs the frequency. No matter what you do, no matter how much good things you do, you always need to apply the good frequency, I think, of my experience, enormous.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And, but there was a question here, what about using frequencies with the Analyze app and also the Healy coil? Yeah, yes, we are going to talk more about that. We're going to switch over to those topics here in just a minute. We wanted to start with microcurrent and the animal kit, but I'm just going to kind of go through here. So as I mentioned earlier, on the Healy website, it lists all 12 programs, but within the presentation itself, there's tips for each of these. Luckily, the program names for these are pretty, self-explanatory as far as what they're for, but there's also expert tips here like cleaning. It says use it for cleansing, detoxification after surgeries or dream medications. Irritant reactions, use it for harmonization of acute and chronic disharmonies in the bioenergetic field related to inflammation. So for each of the 12 programs in the presentation, there's tips for each of these as well. So for example, power, use it for promoting performance during and recovery after activities or at signs of fatigue. So again, another reason to check this out. Also, and of course, sensitivity, related to allergies and food intolerances. So it's kind of a helpful guide. And then if you're not sure which programs to run, you can also use the HealAdvisor search module and search just for the IMF programs related to the animal module. And I'll share that. Very simple to do there, but we'll show that in the HealAdvisor app in just a couple more minutes. And then also, there was a survey that we did in 2023, and the top 5 most popular programs that people that have the animal module run are irritant reaction, suffering, microbiota, defense, and joints. So there's actually a lot of other cool results that came out of that study. It was a pretty decent sized study, over 350 participants. You'll see here, over 75% of people had a positive experience with it, and nearly 70% use these programs multiple times per week. And then also, most popular animals, not too much of a surprise, dogs, cats, and horses. But you see here also birds, reptiles, fish, and amphibians. So yeah, this is useful for all animals, not just necessarily the pet that you have with you. So, and we had some questions also earlier. Yeah, go ahead, Doc Steve. Yeah.
Well, before you move away from this, I want to just throw in some clinical tips for people in terms of the specific programs that I have found, just to give you another tip. So, for example, the eye programs, as we know, most dogs, as they get older, just like human beings, start to develop cataracts in their eyes. And knowing that as your dog gets older, one of the ways to work with them preventively would be to use the eye program. It's really good for that. For the irritant reactions, it can be helpful if your dog is having issues with fleas and ticks. That's a good one. And some people have found when they run that program, they can actually prevent their dogs from being infested with fleas and ticks. Let me see, I put some notes here.
Yeah, and it goes, what you just said goes exactly in line with the eyes. The expert tip, use it for signs of aging and imbalances related to eyesight. And then, of course, things related to, fleas and stuff would cause, inflammations as well too. So yeah, definitely great tips.
Sensitivity, a lot of dogs, specifically certain breeds, have a lot of skin allergies, issues with their ears, allergic reactions. And again, sensitivity is a good program for that. Again, older dogs, joints. So as we know, most dogs, as they age, start to get arthritic changes in various areas in their limbs. And again, preventively, that's a great program to run. In terms of the microbiota, some dogs tend to be very sensitive to certain foods and wind up getting diarrhea or issues like that. And so the microbiota one would be good for those dogs. Suffering is a good one to run if you have any access and do any work with dog shelters, bringing in your Healy and working with that particular program, because most dogs coming into shelters are extremely, frightened, and that's a good one for them. And let's see if there's any others here.
What,
And
what
then-
would you, so this was, for me, this wasn't obvious. Let's, for example, on the screen here, the program rest, when I think rest, I think, maybe sleep or something like that. But you'll see here, it says it's used for promoting mental harmonization and imbalances related to fears, nervousness, and states of excitement. So that's, certainly one that, as in the situation that you just mentioned there, Doc Steve, could be useful as well.
Yeah, rest would be almost in this respect of like moving from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic nervous system. It would have a very similar effect that would happen when you would run like a vagus nerve balance.
Okay, got it. Yeah, makes sense.
That's how that would refer to that program.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you for those tips.
You're very welcome.
We know that there's so many that Healy's programs isn't just a singularity; it's usually a trifecta of effect. In other words, rest meaning that, like Doc Steve, not just rest for being able to shut down and sleep, but maybe again that sympathetic versus parasympathetic nervous system. Everything has a three-fer. So what does it mean to rest, or what is it required to rest, to take a body, whether it's our pet or us? What's required to rest? Well, a lack of nervousness, perhaps, relaxation of some sort. So again, it's going to promote these conditions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I find this what you said, the rest, I always use it in any issue that needs healing. Of course, if the dog goes to a shelter, they put him in a cage in the veterinarian, not owner, nobody explains. They always are with fear, shaky, and their immune system is just gonna stop. And then they're trying to put all these antibiotic and treatments and expect that body to react quickly, and it won't. So if you can add, instead of, hey, quiet, mommy's going to come later, how can you say that to a dog in a cage? All the other dogs crying, they maybe spend the whole night crying and shaking. You can put that, and it changed totally the evolution of the discomfort, the problem. The animal goes so much quicker, so much better, and sometimes even click, like you have a fall and it's like really weak, you put everything on its place, all the frequencies that you can. It's like an orchestra, really. And then the horse just opens ears up, opens the eyes. You see him like, oh, finally, I'm here. I'm feeling better. I can even try to stand. I can even try to milk from the mare. It's just such a change. The dog's the same. They're suffering. They're like flat on the floor. They don't want to do anything. There's this thing on the depression. I believe the depression is a little bit like they believe that the lion's going to eat them. So why should they fight? They're not going to fight for life. So they don't try to eat. They don't try to stand. They shake because they see everything is just suffering. So I also use some of the emotion models when they're feeling bad, because I want to take them out of that depression so that they believe that the lion's not getting them through the neck, that they have a chance. And if I can also work on the company, I can work on the other horses, on the water, on the room. All this also affects the animal. And that's one of the very beautiful things of Healy and frequencies, is that where you focus, there's the therapy. But you can focus on like what we're doing now, not on a group of horses, on the total surrounding of the disease of the organ that's not functioning. That's going to help the development of getting better.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for that. And we actually as we're speaking here, both of my dogs are asleep underneath my desk when I'm snoring right now. So but I actually do have, speaking on this next slide here, I do have the Animal Harmony program running on my Mag Healy right now. So that's definitely a popular one. Adrian, I see you shaking your head. Yeah, that's a good one for a lot of us. And that's in the Mag Healy Atmosphere application. If anyone wasn't sure where that was, definitely try that out with your pets and animals as well. But this, and then actually this last slide here before we go into some of the other HealAdvisor search and also the Analyze app too. Again, this is just a screenshot showing where that Animal Harmony program is, but also a reminder for all of you that have a Mag Healy, why not give your pet some Mag Healy, water that's infused with quantum analyzed frequencies every morning. Typically, you want to use that water within 12 hours. So if you make fill that bowl of water in the morning, you're pretty much good till the evening time. But it's a pretty simple thing. Takes 10 minutes to complete one program, and then there's so many great programs in the water application that could benefit your pet as well. Sonia or Doc, do you have any favorites here that you think would be great for pets, or would you say all of them are great?
One of my members actually has a pet store where he does like doggy daycare, and he specifically purchased the Mag Healy to be able to run in the room where all the doggy daycare is, and he does set the Animal Harmony programs. He says it makes such a dramatic difference in terms of the dogs and their reaction to one another. And then yes, he also activates the water that he uses for all the dogs. And depending, but Vegas Harmony is a good one because again, it's always putting the dog into that state of relaxation and balance. So that I would say would be one of the better ones to do in terms of the water.
Great.
And also I use the Mag Healy very much, even with programs like on the back, on the horses, or the joints. All these programs are really fantastic. The physic programs are very, very good with Mag Healy, and I see way difference. I try to just cover the Mag Healy and maybe just tied it up to, they're very comfortable with ropes, the same ropes that you use for the horses. So I just put it on the back, and that holds really well. And I put the Mag Healy over it. Of course, I don't leave them. I'm around, but they're comfortable. Like if they're in the stable, they don't move. And also, like when they have colics, I use it, and that really helps them with the same idea. Just cover it only with a tissue, same tissue, and then I tied it on a rope, and that's very simple to do, because we're talking that with Healy many times we just going around with the Healy on the pocket. So knowing all these little tricks that you can use with the animals in the same moment is really, really good. And one was just getting a tissue and wrapping it like if it was a sweet. And then I many times use the coil and put it around the neck, because it's for the Healy, and it's very, very efficient this way.
Okay.
Another thing that we can understand that the Mag Healy is a magnetic transmitter, so it will go through cloth, right? Like Sonia's saying, you could put it in a small cloth bag, something like that has a handle or whatever, and you can attach it or hold it on to your pet as well. So it will transmit through that. So we don't need to worry about You know, as long as you're not putting it into a lead bag or a copper, anything metallic, it will transmit through cloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Sonia, before I was gonna share my screen and go into the HealAdvisor search function and then the analyze that part too, but is there anything else you wanted before I get into that related to the analysis or the photo that we just did?
Yeah, I wanted to say that also I always use the animal program. It's very quick. It goes to what you need. It's very practical. With animals, you have to be quickly. So animal program is very, very important. But I also use the other programs that are for human. And I've been doing it for 14 years. So when I had started with Healy, I also used those programs. So when I started, of course, joints, fatigue, and happy came. I used the program of watch. In physical condition, I use the blood supply, sorry, because it's in Spanish. Mine was in Spanish. Deep relaxation. In the animal program, of course, the suffering. All this is what was in this group of animals, all this group of frequencies. Some will resonate with some animals and some others, but that's what came. The Mac Healy, of course, the digestion, the detox, the nerve, and in the coach, the relationship. And that's so important because we have pets. We have pets for us also now. So if you have a pet that's nervous, it won't help you're nervous. So if you help your dog to be more okay with all his things, you're gonna benefit too. And opposite. There was this mother was saying, "Oh, my dog gets crazy when we take the kids to the school." Right. Are you nervous when you go to take the kids to the school and you're late? He won't understand. Late, nervous. No, the dog gets crazy. Something is happening. Like my owner, they suck all our temper. So it's really nice to also do a group. I was talking with this lady and she has this baby and he doesn't sleep. And we say, why don't you put Healy in you and see what happens with the baby? And of course, the baby started sleeping right away because it was the mother. You can do you can treat the house with the dog when you leave it. When you leave it, they get worried. You put the Mac Healy in the house, then the house feels good, feels homey, and then all this changes. So the coach program with the relationship, and then about open heart, and then the pain program, the chronic pain and the back pain. Really good programs, all this. So my dog is deep, doesn't even hear me. Like he's flat on the floor.
Yeah.
Done. And he's always like, so yeah, like he has felt it. I would really like people to like put their hand up, observe their dogs, see what they're doing, see if they like when you touch the dog after you do the therapy. It's really amazing because their skin is like a jumper. I was helping a dog that had a lot of pain, and his back was totally like a wood. You could not lift his skin at all. All his back was so painful. And just after the therapy, I was able to do like that. Like, where's all the fibrin that stick the skin? It's gone. Like, it was really magic. So this is what I see after I do the therapy. They usually like they lick, they yawn. Even horses, they go and they stretch like if they were cats. Look, he's shaking. Your dog's shaking. You see, Jake, your dog.
Yeah.
like they're so relaxed, the skin, everything, they're so relaxed. So please observe your dog and see, tell us a little bit. Raise your hand if you see any difference. We'll make it this way, and then we'll do a picture if you want.
I'll get the.
Jake, speaking of the whole, concept of, the relaxation, it brings up a point for me of when I frequently use the Healy. I live in an area where a lot of times near the beach where there's a lot of fireworks or firecrackers. And of course, my dog gets terrified when that happens, starts to shake, run into a closet or escape. And so what I have found, what works really great is running the Bach flower program. So what I do is I do an analysis on him to see specifically which Bach flower programs he needs, and then I vibrate those into him. As a matter of fact, I attach the Healy directly to his collar and let it run. And it's amazing to see how a dog that's like trembling and shaking, 5 minutes later is totally relaxing and literally going to sleep. So that's something I wanted to make sure that we also covered, would be some of those emotional remedies like the
I love it. And that's not animal module specific, but it's so useful for anybody with pets. So and that, I think a lot of people, they kind of start with that because they feel kind of more comfortable with it. Maybe they've heard of Bach flower remedy before, but having the ability to run that analysis in the Analyze app, do a resonance analysis specifically for that database is really, really powerful there. So, but for the last couple minutes of the call, I just wanted to share some things here. I just want to show on my screen actually how some of these things look for any of you that aren't familiar with the animal module. So let me go to, okay. So, oh, hold on a second here.
Great question from Ursula about using the Zapper protocol for parasites. I would say absolutely. That's what it's that's what it's used for. That in the Power of Three, the Zapper protocol is an excellent program to use for parasites. And many of our pets, unfortunately, because they're out there licking the ground and eating stuff off the ground, deal with parasites. So absolutely, Ursula, I would say it's really good.
So for those of you that don't have the animal module, if you go to your HealAdvisor, just not the HealAdvisor Analyze app, but just the HealAdvisor app, where all the subscriptions live, you would see, if you do have the subscription, the first thing on there would be this animal module. And then if you click on it, it essentially just takes you right to the HealAdvisor search module, and it sort of just checks the box for animal IMF programs. And from there, it functions the same way it would for if you were just using HealAdvisor search for yourself, but you can search specifically for the animal programs, the 12 animal programs. So let's just type in, I don't know, allergy. So you'll see here some different program group recommendations. So again, keep in mind there's only 12 programs in the animal module section. So it's not pulling, this isn't pulling from the whole resonance database. This is just for those 12 programs, but there's over 300 search terms that populate some sort of result here. And, of course, one of the most common ones, but if you click on it, certain, things come up: cleaning, defense, sensitivity, which makes sense if you're talking anything related to an allergy. So that's pretty easy to use. So that's one option that you can use if you want to narrow it down for a specific topic. For out of those 12 programs, you can do that. Of course, again, you can reference the presentation that we went through as well. It kind of gives you a good idea of when you might want to run some of those programs. But let's just go into the Analyze app as well. And kind of what Tani was doing earlier, she did a group resonance analysis. So she took that picture, added it as a group inside of as a client essentially, and then did the analysis from there. But if you're just doing this on let's just say your dog, you can either, say you're gonna pick the resonance analysis. Let's just do a new one here. No, sorry, I meant to go to clients here, not me. Let's go to Lexi. Let's do new resonance analysis. And you'll see here, you can pick animal programs from here as well. So if you want to just narrow it down and just vibrate those programs via the Analyze app, you can do so rather than doing the microcurrent as well. So you can do both, of course, if you have the animal module, but this is an option too. So let's just do this. This takes it's a pretty quick one to do. I'll connect my device, that would help. Let me try that. And let's just see, just kind of just shows what pops up here as an option. This one goes quick because it's just those 12 programs. And you see here, from here, of course, you can vibrate these results, or, if you just, this the way you would normally for yourself, or you can go back and you can click on them, and then you can run them via microcurrent if you wanted to in the Healy app. You would close this and open up the Healy app for you. I'm not going to do that right now. But that's one way to just search for those programs. And again, as Sonia has mentioned and Doc Steve has mentioned, you're not limited to just the animal programs. These programs are great, they're amazing, and they're actually this is the best time to purchase it, because there is that promo going on right now where normally the animal module is a subscription that you have to pay for monthly, but until the end of the month, it's available for a one-time fee, where pretty much the one-time fee is essentially like a 1 year's worth of what you would pay for the subscription, but you get it for life. So it's a really great promo that is available through your Healy shop if you're interested in adding that to your Healy device. But this is one way to do it. And then those programs that Doc Steve mentioned, of course, if you do just the database analysis, Bach flower remedies, this is another great one for pets as well. Same way you would do it for yourself, you do it for your pet here too. And yeah, weak willpower, cannot say no.
Put him to work, Jake.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I mentioned this program, like, it's very, very useful because animals are also farm animals. So maybe you have chicken. You never treat in an individual. You treat in a group. You changing nutrition. You changing vitamins. You're having a issue with the virus, and then everybody is sick. So just like what we did in this group, in this call, you will do with the farm. You will have the farmer make a picture for you, and then give you the perception of what's happening to them, even if he's not telling you exactly what the veterinarian tests are coming. You can still start helping all those animals with all the things, all the tools and the frequencies that come, that need to be harmonized. No, it's very, very, very good. Fish, tortoise, dolphins, you name it. Yeah, like wild animals, like these things that I did for the elephants. It's so hard as a veterinarian. You have to sleep the animal and then maybe just get a little bit of blood to know how he's going. And why not keeping in mind that frequencies are also so important for the animal balance. So if you're doing all that, you're sleeping it to take blood, do also some long distance frequency therapy on the group, on the herd. You're getting all these cows that you're riding a horse, and you go through the cows, and then you see the group things while you're watching it. In the moment that you're watching the program, start touching all these buttons with your phone and your Healy in your pocket. It's so easy and so effective, so important. I do want to put this word on important, relevant, matters. frequency matters. The organ that's not working has a frequency that's not working. So you help the organ, but you also have to help the information that makes the organ, right? And that's the frequency. It's important. And we have to get used to that, because I use it all the time. And I also use it with me. The vet also can use it with themselves. Like the program, this weekend we went skiing and I was so tired because I was not used to ski. So I put the programs of yes, for performance, and my cramps stopped. And then, oh, now my neck hurts. So then I put it in the neck, and then the neck pain stopped. And then my knee, and then I put it on the knee on my way back home, and then the knee stops hurting. So important. Instead of letting just the organ be and try to change to then become a frequency that belongs, do the two things, help the knee and use the change on the frequency so that everything is quicker, everything is in order. The frequency and the matter have to be the two, not just one, not the matter only, I believe.
Thank you so much, Sonia. To close here, any tips from any of our experts on the call here? Because there's some questions about, we have the microcurrent, we have the coil, we have the Mac Healy, we have the the Analyze app as well, just vibrating those frequencies. Any tips on incorporating each of those into a sort of a routine for your pets? Is it just start with one and then kind of add on a few others later, or should you just do once a week to start? What are there any sort of tips on what they should follow here?
You mentioned, I always focus on what the problem may have or the owner may see. I always focus there, because where you focus, the energy will go. And then I start with that. But I must admit that I like the emotion cleaning very, very much, even with animals. When you said allergies, always I do chakras, and they work magic. They change things. So you, as a veterinarian, you may want to put some medicines, and I won't mention what. And then what happens in the next time, when they get in contact with, let's say they're allergic to pine trees and they leave it underneath the pine trees, he was going to have the same problem again. Then I take the fear to the pine trees, and then the allergy doesn't come back. It's really, really good. The emotions also are cleaning, and it makes sense. If all the cells have to be, a virus comes in and everybody inside is like, ooh, not with fear. So I also do the soul program with serenity, with security. It's so good when they're sick because they have fear. So we work with the emotions parallel, the emotions of the owner, the emotions of the dog. It's all parallel, and it works really, really well. I usually put the emotions first and then go to the problem.
Sonia, I ran actually, I have so many testimonials with Rico here, but I decided one day to run the aura analysis on him. And it helped me so much to understand some of his behaviors. The first thing that popped up, it was father figure, love at first sight. And my husband was actually the one who picked him up at the airport and was the first person that he met from our side. And he's always like following him, and and for me it was mother figure, stability and safetyness. And part of the behavior was feeling insecure when left alone. And whenever I would leave the house, he only would destroy my things. Never to my husband could leave everything out, wouldn't touch one thing. I would leave tiny thing, it would be destroyed by the time I got back to the house. So it was really interesting to see, you know, how he needed to be reinforced that he was okay being left alone, and you know,
You changed it probably, no, when you worked on it.
yes, no, that now everything is only once in a blue moon, but very rare that he would do anything anymore.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
But I
Okay, well,
definitely recommend the analysis.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Adriana. Yeah, definitely try that out. You know, it's not going to hurt your pet to do an aura analysis, and it could give you some great insight. But yeah. So to close here, Sonia, Doc Steve, Ken, Adriana, anything you want to add before we end today's call?
Yes, I'd like to make a shameless plug. So Teddy, who you've seen, he's
Yeah.
actually sleeping now on
Yeah.
here, is competing in a contest called America's Favorite Dog. And hundreds of dogs have entered this contest, and Teddy is now in the top 10 of all
Wow.
of those dogs. And the winner of the contest gets an appearance on television on a show called America's Favorite Dog, the cover of Modern Dog magazine, and $10,000, which I intend to donate to various dog shelters all over the area here. So if you can do that, that would be great. And you can vote. It's free. You can vote as many times as you choose per day, actually once a day. And he's currently in the top 10. He's ranking, I believe, the last time I saw it, number 6. And then it'll probably, after Thursday, go down to the top 5. So hopefully he'll be in that group, and then they'll make the selection. And I thought it would be really great if all of us could support him in that way. And of course, if we get to be on TV, I'll make sure his Healy is on his collar, so people can see that. And they'll probably ask me, what is that? And that'll be a way to to promote it out there. But I just did it on a whim, just to see what would happen, and I was shocked to see that he got right up there. But of course, he's a cutie, and everywhere I go, stop me and want to touch him and ask me about him. And just so you know, he is a rescue. I rescued him at 2 months old. He's now just turned 10. And he's also a therapy dog, a trained therapy dog, which means he's in my office every day, and he works with all of my patients directly. So he's really a sweetie also, in terms of just who he is. So thank you for allowing me to do that.
Awesome. No, sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone. So happy we could do this on National Love Your Pet Day. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Sonia and Doc Steve and Ken and Adriana, for joining. Okay, Charlie, we're almost done here. Almost.
Yeah.
You want to say something to close the call, Charlie? Huh?
I would like to say something. It's now you learn how to use like all these difference and all these animals, all these hands like this put up. I would like to invite people to go and search for shelters, animals in general that need help, no matter where they are in the world. And then just having a routine on helping all those animals, asking the people that are beside them, are they okay? No, they're worried, they have fear, let me know what, from 1 to 5, what they're feeling, and then do the long distance therapy like this every time you can, because you can, in between all, we can help so many animals. Sometimes you can't change the situation, like this elephant. Now, he couldn't change the situation at the beginning, but you can change his stress, and that's major.
Yeah, and to add to that, Sonia, what I do is that I visit a lot. I work with a lot of local animal shelters and rescues here in town, and I absolutely recommend that they all purchase at least the Healy, so that they can run the Animal Harmony program because it has a bigger effect because you're treating a lot of animals at the same time, because most animals in rescues and or shelters are in a state of fear. And that really helps, what I've been told, really ease that emotional tension in the groups. So, you know, if you have a local rescue or shelter that you visit, you know, bring your Meg Healy with you and just demo it for them. Show them how just running it for a short period of time will ultimately calm down. I don't know if any of you have not been in a rescue or shelter. It's just constant dogs barking, 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 barking. And being able to lower that, you know, emotional out of balance really helps all the dogs themselves to be more calm, and it's a great tool.
And give us a hand like that, please, everybody that has seen their dog like a little bit different already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so nice. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so if you have any success stories, whether it's, you know, related to this call, or you start using the animal module or the Healy programs in general with your pets and animals, we'd love to hear about them. Email them. I just put the email into the chat here, americas@healy.world. Just or you know, share them on a future call in the chat. We'd love to hear more. If you've, you know, just started to use.
We can set up a post on Facebook and they can share
Okay.
on there their testimonials. We can do something
That would be
for
great.
everybody to put it together and be able to read them and share them with other people. Always.
Okay.
And the
Also,
recording-
one other last thing. I started a group a while back on Facebook called Frequencies for Animals. And it's specifically for people who have Healys, and currently we have 3.8 thousand members. So it's Frequencies for Animals. I'm typing it on here now. It's a Facebook group. And as you'll see when you open it up, it's a picture of Teddy on the front.
Okay. And Ken, I think you were about to say, but yeah, as for
I was
those
just going to say that the recording, by the way, everybody, I've been seeing in the chat. It's going to be available in the Healy World America's YouTube page. So definitely go there. There is a playlist for Healy for Beginners and Beyond, and you'll see that there. Jake and his team does awesome.
Yeah, it should be up there within 48 hours, so by Thursday sometime. And then for our Tech Tip Tuesday regulars, you know, since we did this call earlier today, we're going to skip Tech Tip Tuesday tonight. But join us next Tuesday. We'll be back at it 8 p.m. Eastern time. For those of you that have never attended a Tech Tip Tuesday, you know, join us for the first time. It's an open chat-based call where any questions you have, you put them into the chat, and Ken and I, along with a member of our amazing tech support team, is there to assist. And we typically go through 15-20 questions, topics, anything from, you know, beginner topics to information field and quantum entanglement to Mag Healy and Coil and Analyze app and different programs. So it's a lot of fun. Definitely, if you haven't checked it out before, join us live once so you can ask your own questions in the chat as well. But thank you, everybody. Again, Sonia, Ken, Doc, Steve, Adriana, for joining us. This was so much fun. We'll definitely have to do another one of these pet editions again at some point in the future. But again, thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
Bye.